In a shocking moment behind palace doors, Meghan allegedly confessed that Prince Harry may not be the biological father of Archie and Lilibet. The revelation left Harry in tears, devastated and blindsided. As palace investigations intensify, the royal family's future and the children's titles now hang in the balance. Meghan's shocking confession, a twist no one saw coming. The night everything changed, insiders say, happened in late 2025, inside a private home in California, far from palace walls but heavy with royal consequences. According to multiple sources close to the couple, Meghan Markle made a confession that Prince Harry never saw coming. In the middle of a heated argument, she allegedly revealed that Harry may not be the biological father of Archie and Lilibet. The words didn't land softly. They detonated. "You were never supposed to find out like this," Meghan is said to have told him, a sentence that reportedly left Harry frozen in place. Those present say Harry broke down in tears almost immediately. This wasn't anger. It was shock. For years, Harry had believed, without question, that both children were biologically his. Friends later described him as emotionally shattered, pacing, crying, asking the same question over and over, "Why didn't you tell me?" The timing made it worse. Just weeks earlier, whispers had begun circulating about a quiet palace review into the children's legitimacy. To Harry, the pieces suddenly fit together in the most devastating way. Sources claim, Meghan explained, the children were conceived through donor insemination or surrogacy. Arrangements she allegedly believed were private and protected. But in royal terms, nothing involving the line of succession is private. This was never about love, one insider said. It was about control. Harry, raised in a system obsessed with bloodline and protocol, reportedly realized in that moment that his entire public identity as a father and as a royal might be built on something incomplete. What hurt most, according to those close to him, was that this was not a mutual decision. Harry had not consented to secrecy. He had not agreed to donor conception without disclosure. "I would have stood by you," he allegedly told Meghan through tears. "But you took away my choice." That sense of betrayal cut deeper than any tabloid headline ever could. The confession also reframed years of speculation. The unusual pregnancies, the secrecy, the absence of witnesses. Suddenly, nothing felt accidental. And as Harry struggled to breathe through the shock, one truth became impossible to ignore. This revelation wasn't just personal. It was explosive, with consequences stretching from Montecito to Buckingham Palace. And just as Harry tried to process the emotional wreckage, a darker realization crept in. The palace may have already been waiting for this moment. What if this confession wasn't just a breakdown? What if it was the final move in a much larger game? The palace's trap. Did Meghan walk right into it? According to royal insiders, the palace had been quietly preparing long before Meghan's alleged confession ever surfaced. In early 2025, a discreet internal audit of royal succession records was launched, not announced, not leaked, but methodical and deliberate. The trigger? Inconsistencies. Paperwork that didn't align. Dates that raised eyebrows. One archivist allegedly asked a chillingly simple question. If everything is legitimate, why does none of this look normal? At the center of the review were Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, born May 6, 2019, and Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor, born June 4, 2021. Insiders say the palace wasn't chasing rumors or social media theories. It was following documents, or the absence of them. The monarchy can't inherit uncertainty, one source said. It requires proof, And in both cases, proof was thin. Whispers inside Buckingham Palace suggest Prince William was aware of the concerns early on. Not out of malice, but responsibility. As future king, succession integrity falls on his shoulders. Some believe the palace deliberately applied pressure, knowing that if the truth existed, it would surface. They didn't need to accuse, an insider claimed. They just needed to wait. That pressure may explain why Meghan's confession came when it did. With reviews underway and questions multiplying, silence was becoming dangerous. She knew the story was about to outrun her, a former court aide said. So she told Harry first. In doing so, critics argue, Meghan may have validated palace suspicions without a single formal accusation being made. The brilliance and cruelty of the alleged palace strategy lies in its restraint. No public demands, no dramatic statements. Just records, procedures, and time. If Meghan contradicts herself, the truth reveals itself, one royal historian noted. And when Harry learned the truth privately, the palace didn't need to act. The damage was already done. This wasn't just family drama. It was constitutional warfare, fought quietly with paper trails instead of press releases. And now, with Harry emotionally undone and Meghan's words hanging in the air, the trap appears to have closed. Because once the palace starts asking questions, it never stops. And the next questions, about documents, births, and legality, may prove impossible to outrun. Archie's birth certificate. Chaos. What was she hiding? From the very beginning, Archie's birth came with more questions than answers. Born on May 6, 2019, it should have followed a clear royal process, a formal hospital declaration, a public photo call, and a transparent birth certificate. But instead, what unfolded set off the first real alarm bells inside Buckingham Palace. Just weeks after Archie's birth, something strange happened. The original birth certificate, which had listed Rachel Meghan Markle as the mother, was edited in June 2019. Her personal name vanished and was replaced with the phrase, Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. While minor on paper, this change was unprecedented. Royal documents aren't casually rewritten. They're historic records, locked, sealed, and safeguarded. This edit was not just unusual, it was a red flag. At first, Meghan's team told the press that the palace made the change without her consent, painting her as the victim of royal interference. But that claim didn't hold up. Palace sources quickly countered that Meghan had requested the update herself for branding consistency. Two different explanations. No paperwork, no clarity. And suddenly, the conspiracy theories gained traction. What was being hidden? Why alter an official record unless there was something to conceal? It didn't help that Meghan had refused to show her bump publicly in traditional royal fashion. There was no hospital photo, no easel announcement, and most shockingly, no visible medical team. Staffers close to the royals reported being barred from even approaching Meghan during her pregnancy, a move that directly contradicted decades of royal tradition. It was like a black box, one royal aide said. No one could verify anything. In a system where transparency is law, and every royal baby's birth is carefully documented for the line of succession, these inconsistencies weren't dismissed as quirks. They were signs. To some inside the palace, the birth certificate change was the moment the story started to fall apart. And with Meghan's recent confession, it now reads like step one in a wider cover-up. Lilibet's California mystery. No proof, no record. If Archie's birth raised suspicions, Lilibet's arrival in June 2021 nearly set royal protocol on fire. Born in Santa Barbara, California, her entry into the world was not just private. It was completely detached from any UK institutional process. There was no royal hospital, no British doctors, and most importantly, no official documentation shared with the Crown. Unlike previous royal births, which are accompanied by a UK medical certificate, public statements from official royal physicians, and traditional photos outside the hospital, Lilibet's birth was announced through a press release written by Meghan and Harry's own PR team. It was shared days after the fact and came with zero medical confirmation from anyone inside the monarchy. To make matters worse, the doctor listed in the announcement later disappeared from public view. She refused interviews, declined to confirm details, and essentially vanished from media circulation. For a royal birth, this is unheard of. There's no way to trace it, a former palace records officer explained. No one can verify who was in the room, or even if Meghan was. In royal terms, that's catastrophic. Every royal baby's legitimacy must be verifiable, traceable, and documented. Lilibet's birth had none of that. The only images released were staged black and white photos and holiday cards, not a single verified hospital photo. No doctors, no nurses, not even a royal aide present. The message was clear. Meghan and Harry were telling the world to trust them. But in a monarchy, trust isn't proof. The palace, already rattled from the birth certificate drama, reportedly flagged Lilibet's case for special review. This isn't about parenting, one legal advisor said. It's about constitutional succession. Because without institutional evidence, Lilibet's claim to a royal title and her place in the line of succession becomes legally indefensible. And now, with Meghan's confession shaking the royal foundation, every missing document, every unverified photo, and every unanswered question surrounding Lilibet's birth is back under the spotlight, brighter, harsher, and this time, impossible to ignore. Baptism bombshell: why Lilibet's christening means nothing to the crown. In the royal world, baptism isn't just a religious event. It's a constitutional act. Every royal child must be baptized under the Church of England, witnessed, registered, and recorded under official royal law. But what happened with Lilibet Diana's christening broke nearly every rule in the book. In March 2023, Meghan and Harry announced that Lilibet had been christened in a private ceremony at their Montecito estate in California. The officiant? Bishop John Taylor, a respected figure, but not Anglican. He belongs to the Episcopal Church, which is part of the American tradition, not the official church of the British monarchy. This move sent shockwaves through royal legal circles. There was no Anglican registry, no records submitted to the royal archives, and no presence of official UK clergy. That means Lilibet's baptism holds no legal weight inside the crown. To the royal institution, it simply didn't happen. Meghan and Harry painted it as a joyful, intimate occasion. Photos were released, statements were made, but none of it was recognized by the Church of England, which makes it invalid by royal standards. One royal historian put it bluntly, "It was a family moment, not a state one." And in monarchy, that distinction matters. The implications are serious. A non-recognized baptism puts Lilibet's royal status in question. Without this key religious rite done properly, she cannot hold a place in the official line of succession, no matter her bloodline. And now, with doubts already circling her birth records, this missing baptism becomes another crack in an already crumbling foundation. Behind the scenes, palace officials reportedly raised this issue months ago. but it was swept aside in favor of keeping peace. Now, in light of Meghan's confession about the children's origins, the baptism bombshell is back, and the Crown is no longer staying quiet. Photoshopped perfection. The strange case of the holiday cards. Every year, the royal family's holiday cards serve as a visual timestamp in the monarchy's history, carefully documented and archived. But the cards from Harry and Meghan, they sparked more confusion than celebration. Photo analysts and digital experts have pointed out serious anomalies in multiple family images released between 2021 and 2023. Lighting inconsistencies, shadow mismatches, and even strange body positioning raised red flags. In one card, Archie's face appeared significantly older than his stated age. In another, Lilibet's skin tone and lighting didn't match Meghan's hand holding her. Critics weren't just trolling, these were experienced forensic editors who suggested possible digital compositing. That means parts of the images may have been added or manipulated, rather than taken as a genuine family photo. One expert explained, "You can tell when people are photographed under different lighting and merged into one image. These cards have those tells." In monarchy terms, this is more than just suspicious. Royal photos are considered public records, part of a family's lineage history. If the images are digitally altered, it throws everything into doubt, especially for children whose birth records are already contested. It also fuels a disturbing question. Were the children even present in these moments? Or were stand-ins and edits used to maintain a public illusion? For Buckingham Palace, this is not just a tabloid theory. Officials reportedly reviewed the holiday card photos as part of their internal investigation. With no hospital records, no confirmed baptisms, and now questionable family portraits, they're being forced to ask what was once unthinkable. Were these children even raised by Meghan and Harry in the way the world was told? As one royal archivist said, "If we can't trust the images and we can't trust the documents, what's left to prove legitimacy?" And now, as the royal succession hangs by a thread, the answer to that question may define the monarchy's next chapter. Medical mystery. Was there ever a real pregnancy? From the moment Meghan Markle announced her pregnancy with Archie in 2019, things didn't add up. The British public, the media, and even palace insiders began whispering the same thing. Something's not right. And now, years later, those whispers are turning into demands for answers. Observers noted Meghan's baby bump seemed to change shape and size dramatically, sometimes even within the same week. In official footage, her bump appeared high and round one day, then lower or nearly flat the next. A growing number of skeptics suggested the use of a moon bump, a well-known prosthetic used by actresses to simulate pregnancy. Even more suspicious, royal staffers claimed they were not allowed to touch or be near Meghan's belly, a total break from tradition. In previous royal pregnancies, nurses, doctors, and staff were actively involved and present during preparations and public events. But in Meghan's case, everything was kept behind closed doors. By royal protocol, all royal births must be verified by palace-approved medical officials, usually with clear documentation and a formal announcement outside the hospital, the iconic gold easel. But there was none of that for Archie or Lilibet. No hospital photos, no royal doctors giving statements, no known delivery witnesses. With Lilibet, the confusion deepened. The birth was announced by press release from California, with no hospital or medical staff officially named. The one doctor reportedly involved vanished from media attention completely, refusing to confirm anything. According to a former royal advisor, This is the only time in modern royal history where two children entered the line of succession with no verifiable proof of birth. Now that Meghan has allegedly admitted to using a donor or surrogate, this long-standing medical mystery could finally be explained. But the truth leaves a devastating aftermath. If Meghan never carried the children and never disclosed this to the palace, the integrity of their royal claims collapses. The DNA dilemma. Can Harry prove he's the father? As Meghan's confession continues to ripple through the royal world, one terrifying question sits at the center of the chaos. Is Prince Harry really the biological father of Archie and Lilibet? Sources say Buckingham Palace is now privately demanding a DNA verification. Without it, both children could be removed from the royal line of succession. That's not harsh, it's law. Royal heirs must be natural-born from the bloodline, not donor-conceived, and certainly not unverified. To date, no official DNA test results have been publicly released, and palace aides say Harry was never informed that such a test might be necessary because he allegedly believed wholeheartedly that the children were his. Meghan's admission, reportedly made in late 2025 during an emotional argument, changed everything. Without that biological connection, both Archie and Lilibet's HRH titles can be suspended or revoked. This isn't about scandal anymore, it's about constitutional legitimacy. Even worse, if Meghan refuses to provide proof or allow testing, Harry himself could be pressured by the palace to take legal steps, including seeking paternity through court orders. This move would send shockwaves through the monarchy and drag the most personal part of his life into public view. One palace insider revealed, "We're not looking to humiliate anyone. We're protecting the monarchy's future. If the bloodline can't be proven, the titles cannot stay." Harry is now caught in a nightmare, torn between loyalty to his wife and children and his ancestral duty to the crown. And if DNA testing goes ahead and proves what some now fear, everything Meghan and Harry built in America falls apart overnight. Because in the royal world, truth isn't just important, it's everything. Harry's breakdown. A prince betrayed. After Meghan's alleged confession, Prince Harry reportedly collapsed emotionally, blindsided by a truth he never imagined possible. Insiders close to the couple say it happened during a heated late-night conversation in Montecito, where Meghan revealed the children may not be his biologically. The news shattered Harry. According to a source, he kept saying, "Why wouldn't you tell me?" over and over. He felt humiliated, like his entire world had been built on a lie. What hit Harry hardest wasn't just the personal betrayal, it was the timing. The palace had already begun digging into Archie and Lilibet's legitimacy. Meghan's revelation came not as a mutual decision, but as a reaction to growing pressure. It was damage control, and Harry knew it. His relationship with Prince William, already strained, is now described as irreparable. Insiders say William suspected something for years, especially given the secrecy around both children's births. If true, Harry may have been the last to know, and that's what hurt the most. He's reportedly considering legal action, not against the monarchy, but against Meghan. Friends say he's privately spoken with advisors about custody rights, DNA verification, and the impact this could have on their children's future, both emotionally and legally. As one longtime royal staffer put it, Harry left everything behind for her, and now he's facing the truth that he might not even be the father of the children he gave it all up for. The image of a rebel prince is gone. What's left is a man devastated, betrayed, and completely alone, in a storm of consequences. The Crown strikes back. What happens now? With Meghan's alleged confession still reverberating through the palace, Buckingham Palace moved swiftly. As of early December 2025, a formal constitutional review is now underway, not as a media reaction, but as an official legal inquiry into the royal status of Archie and Lilibet. According to high-level sources, senior advisors, constitutional lawyers, and royal archivists are now thoroughly reviewing birth certificates, baptismal records, hospital logs, and even internal communication between the Sussexes and royal aides. Their goal? Verifiable truth, not PR statements or curated photo ops. What they've reportedly found so far is deeply troubling. A secret internal dossier highlights multiple red flags, including missing medical verification, no Church of England baptism for Lilibet, and a complete lack of DNA proof. If Meghan refuses to cooperate further, the palace has legal authority to strip both children of their succession rights. This isn't personal. It's constitutional. UK royal law demands natural-born, verifiable lineage. If Harry isn't the biological father, or if the proper protocols weren't followed, the titles of Prince and Princess collapse immediately. Inside the palace, King Charles now faces a defining moment. Sources say he's under enormous pressure from his advisors, the public, and even Parliament, to put duty before family. The question he faces: defend Harry and Meghan or protect the monarchy? Meanwhile, the Sussex brand is unraveling. Their global influence, built entirely on royal association, is now under threat. Netflix, book deals, speaking tours, all lose value without royal status. A palace official said it best: this isn't revenge, it's preservation. Because when the Crown strikes back, it doesn't need drama. It responds with documents, law, and irreversible action. This revelation has shattered not only Harry's personal world, but also the monarchy's fragile order. With questions swirling about paternity, legitimacy, and succession, the Crown is under pressure to act swiftly and decisively. For Meghan and Harry, the consequences could be irreversible. Their children's royal status, their public image, and their entire brand are on the line. What was once a tightly controlled narrative is now unraveling under royal scrutiny. As the truth inches closer to daylight, one thing is certain: the monarchy won't let uncertainty rule. And for Prince Harry, the tears may only be the beginning.